I think we're live now. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do a live stream and I'm going to answer all your questions. The hour is going to be yours. I went to the Facebook group and I wrote down a lot of questions that people had. So if you have questions about ZimmWriter, not about a feature that's coming, the whole goal for me is to help teach you how to use ZimmWriter better. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you're trying to do something with ZimmWriter. Maybe you're struggling with something. That's what this hour is for. So I have some questions that people asked in the Facebook group, but because you guys are actually here, I'll defer to your questions first in terms of priority. So if you do have questions, just write them in the group chat right now. Otherwise, I'm just going to start going through this list I have from the people in the Facebook group. Alex asked in the group, he said, hey, he wanted to use different templates. I guess he called them templates. I didn't quite understand it. I think he's talking about profiles. So if you haven't used the profiles already, on my screen, I can read it. Let me see if I can make this even bigger. So Alex asked if we can do like different templates for different concepts. So if you have not used the profiles yet for the bulk writer, I highly recommend it. A lot of people get overwhelmed because they'll come into ZimmWriter and the bulk writer, and they'll first of all think that they have to write bulk articles with the bulk writer. You don't have to do that. You can write one article at a time. So you could just think of the bulk writer as potentially an extension of the SEO writer. You can do bulk, but you can just do one if you want to. Now, with all of this stuff, if you're new to ZimmWriter, what I recommend is you just put your title in here. Was the Jake Paul versus Tyson? I always put, how to wash a cat, but I'll put this in today. Tyson match rigged. Now, obviously, the AI will have no idea unless we use deep research. But what I recommend doing when you first start using ZimmWriter, go to the options menu and enable HTML output. That way, for each file that ZimmWriter generates, you're going to get not only that markdown text file, but also a nice HTML file. So it will be easier to look at the output, regardless of whether you're uploading to WordPress or not. It will be easier to look at the output, look at the actual bolding and stuff like that and see if it's what you want. So you put your title in here, right? You have HTML output on, and you just write the article. Just write it with some basic models. The models I typically use all the time for writing. For ancillary, I'm always going to use GPT-4o Mini. And then just for some cheap stuff, I'll use GPT-4o Mini for the writing model, just to start things off. So we have our basic model set, we put our title in here, and we just write it and see what the output looks like. If we're happy with the output, then heck, we don't really need to configure any settings aside from our images, if we want images, and then selecting our WordPress site. But if you're not happy with the output, that's when you can come in here and start tweaking things. So you start thinking, maybe I want some lists randomly inserted. Maybe I want some bold, because that's going to visually make it look a little bit different, a little bit less than just walls of text. Maybe I don't like how the paragraphs are so skinny. There's one or two sentences. I want chunkier paragraphs, so we can disable this. Maybe I don't like the conclusion, so I can disable this. So you play with your options and play with them gradually, and then write the article again and see what your output is. And you'll eventually dial this in for whatever your niche is. So if you're doing like a local business blog, you're dialing in your settings until you finally get it. And then when you get it, you come over here and you call this like local business or something like that, and you save your profile. And then whenever you come back to ZimmWriter again, you close ZimmWriter or whatnot, or you go do a different job, you come back to ZimmWriter, all you got to do, because you've dialed in those settings, you go to the bulk writer and you load up local business. It loads up all your settings. If you configured stuff over here, it would load that stuff up too. So definitely start using the profiles if you have not. So in regards to Alex's specific question, doing each of these would just require testing until you get it how you want it, and then you save it to your profile. And everybody has their own personal preference for what they're going to do with these different things. Nicola asks, is it possible to add a few links from articles and have ZimmWriter to write a new article based on those links? Not sure what you're totally asking, but that's what the Penny Arcade does. You can put in up to 1,000 URLs, and then it will write articles for those, articles based on those links. Now the title that you're going to get is going to just be generated by the AI, be generated by ZimmWriter. If you want to specify your own titles, then you can use the URL merge feature. It basically turns the bulk writer into the Penny Arcade. So you put your article title in here, article title, and then you could put your slug in here if you wanted to do a slug, whatever you want. And then you'd have your link here.com, and you can put in up to 5 links if you want to. It's essentially doing the same thing. This is doing the same thing that we're doing in the SEO writer for the global background. you put in your title, and you put in a couple different URLs. In ZimmWriter, when you scrape them, you can pre-scrape or scrape during writing. You pre-scrape, you come down here and you only scrape URLs. So it will scrape this stuff, and then it will generate up to 1,200 words of global background. And once it reaches 1,200 words, it will stop scraping. But that's essentially what doing this in here is. We put our title in, we put the URLs. Maybe you just want one URL. Yeah, you can do that too. The cool thing about the Penny Arcade is in here, when you put your URL in here, so here's the URL, we're going to turn this URL into an article. The cool thing is you can enable some call to actions. If, for example, you're doing like a one-off review of an Amazon product, you have a link to an Amazon product for some headphones, some Beats headphones or something like that. You put this in here, and then assuming you have ZimmWriter can then use ScrapeOwl to go to Amazon, scrape the article, summarize the article, pull the image in. The image will become your featured image here. And then assuming you've gone into the scraping surgeon settings over here, scraping surgeon for Amazon, and supplied your tag, ZimmWriter, when it writes that particular article, will put your affiliate link into the call to action down here. So really cool if you're using it for one-off Amazon reviews. Hope that answered your question, Nicola. Mike asks, so many things ZimmWriter does, where to start, ideas for profit with, thanks. So I'd mentioned that I'm going to make a course for recipes, but on hindsight, I'm putting that on the back burner because my designer affair site, monetization's been a little bit hard. It's monetized, I'm making money. And I'm going to do a tweak in a few days, like a final like video 16 where I put on even more monetization on it. But it's not like the buyer intent is not as good as I'd like. So it's more of a site to maybe possibly monetize with AdSense or something like that. What I'm trying to say now is we're actually going to do, I think, a Bitcoin site, a site on Bitcoin news and things like that, because that's incredibly monetizable right now. Look out for that course. I hope to have that in a week or two. That's my plan, at least. Should be fun. We'll talk about more monetization concepts with that course. Let's see, add this to broadcast. So Richard asks, if we use deep research, many columns could be left blank in the CSV. Many columns could be left blank in the CSV. Do I understand correct? I'm not sure what you mean. So in the bulk writer, if you haven't used deep research, you need to use deep research. It's absolutely insane. Deep research is 2 components. And I really recommend reading this guide I wrote. Read the guide. It's it covers everything in here, but read the guide. Deep research is 2 components. One, it's the research component. And then 2, the second part is the citation component, okay? If you just want the research, and the research functions as a background for the subheadings. And it also works as knowledge that will be used to create your outline. So that's why there are these 2 disabled portions. Maybe you just want the deep research, the knowledge portion, to help for the outline generation. Then you would turn it off for right here. Maybe you don't want it for the outline generation. Then you turn it off right here. But if you want the knowledge for both the outline creation and the subheading writing, you leave both of these enabled. But if you don't want citations, you can just turn these off. You can say, oh, you know what? I don't want any links, any citations in my article at all. And then you won't get any, and you'll just get that knowledge portion. Maybe you're writing local. And if you write local, how to find the best plumber in Toledo, Ohio. If you put citations in here, you're going to get competitors. So maybe you don't want the competitor stuff in here. So then you just enable the knowledge portion. Now, if you do want links, then you come over here and you say, how many links do you want? You're capped at 50 total for the article. So depending on the number of H2s, maybe you want like just 2 links per subheading or 1 link per subheading. You're still getting the knowledge, but now you're also going to get some links in here. This box right here is stuff that you, like domains that you don't want used as citations. So maybe you're local, all right? You're writing about like local plumbers or something, and you have a list of the 20 domains for the 20 nearest plumbers. You don't want them used as citations. You can put that in here. What's really cool is this list of domains to exclude will be saved on a profile by profile basis. So if you have multiple clients or multiple businesses, a plumbing business, a dentistry business or something like that, or just maybe different sites with different niches, you can have your lists here and they can be unique for every single profile as long as you save it to the profile. Pink Koala asks, what is the best way to do one full product review in the SEO writer? I guess it depends on what kind of product you want to write about. If it's an Amazon product, just get ScrapeOwl and go to the Penny Arcade and put it in here. So if it's an Amazon product, I would just do that. If it's a product that you want to give your own opinions on, then you'd come in here and you'd put the product name, and then you put like up to 1,200 words of background information about the product and whatnot. You could even say, I'm Matt with rankingtactics.com. I'm reviewing Link Boss today, which is a link builder. You'd have to play with this because sometimes when you use something like this as a global background, it's going to like, because the global background's fed into every single subheading, it might regurgitate, hey, I'm Matt, hey, I'm Matt, hey, I'm Matt. So you might not want that. You'll have to play with that a little bit. We can enable the subheading background. So you could say, I don't know what your outline would be for a single product review. Maybe you have your different outline, your different H1s and H2s and stuff like that, and then you can put in some background information. It's a slower process to do it this way. So in my opinion, if you're actually doing a product review, what I recommend is just using the magic commands. That's what I do when I write my blog posts for ZimmWriter. I'll go into WordPress. So pretend I'm in WordPress right now. I'll write my stuff. I can't even think off the top of my head, but I'll write all my stuff in here, and then I'll simply select it all. And I have a magic command over here for rewriting. So this is my trigger: rewrite the text to fix grammar, add contractions, and write in the active tone of voice if appropriate. This is tied to Control-4, and it's tied to the Sonnet model. So literally, I'm inside of WordPress right now. Now, if there's links and stuff like that, it will butcher the link. So make sure you're not highlighting text that has links or weird formatting in it. But you simply select the text, I'll hit Control-4, and it rewrites my content. So you might want to think about whether or not just writing it using magic commands inside of WordPress would solve it for you, as opposed to having to go through the SEO writer. Dan asks, if using the penny arcade to create blogs from your own videos, which way would you say is the best to do it? I would probably do it in the bulk writer. Review of the DJI Neo drone. Don't tell my kid I'm getting him one for Christmas. My thoughts or something like that. So you're telling the AI, hey, this is a personal review, and then you'd have the actual URL to the YouTube video in here, and then you'd write this from a first-person perspective. You don't have to do it this way. You can just take the URL and put it into the penny arcade, and then, but obviously I would not do like an automatic voice. I would do the first-person singular, so it writes from that perspective. You should get great mileage from that. It might not know who you are when it's writing this, unless you're saying in the video, hey, my name is Matt Zimmerman. Welcome to my drone channel, my YouTube drone review channel. Today, we're going to review the DJI Neo or something like that. So if you're not really clear, then the AI might not know who you are and stuff like that. Keep an eye on that. At least in the bulk writer, you'd have the ability to add a custom global background. So you could say like, my review of the DJI Neo drone. And then we'd have a custom global background, Matt Zimmerman drones or something like that. So that could be the custom global background for my drone YouTube channel. And you could try that. ZimmWriter is all about trying stuff and seeing if you like the output, seeing if it works. You would specify this in the custom outline and custom global, but we don't need to use a custom outline to use this custom global background. It's just like, this is where you specify it. But you'd make your custom background in here, and it would be a custom global CGB underscore. And then we simply take this and put it right on the title. And that would be, this would be the equivalent of what you're seeing in the SEO writer, but now we're doing it on a bulk scale, because if you had 30 different YouTube videos that you wanted to then write about, you could apply that CGB to each one of those. Alternatively, you could use the SEO CSV, this thing right here. You'd have your title in here, and then the background could simply be the link to the YouTube video. So you could do that too. And then you could leave everything else blank. What's the next question? Sorry if I'm coughing, by the way. I'm on the tail end of pneumonia that I've had for a month. So Jack asks, to improve a local business website pages, not posts, I'm starting with a dentist and pest control company. Right, I don't know what his question was. But yeah, you can use magic commands in WordPress, so that would work out. And take advantage of the magic menu. I'm on my Mac right now, so the keyboard's sometimes a little bit different. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so Control-7 will bring up your magic menu. And what's going to be inside of here is the stuff that's in your advanced triggers, which I can't bring up because this menu is open. Let's see. So in all this stuff in here, Like if I can make something new in here, let's say rewrite the content as a Facebook post. So I can save this to Facebook, and we don't need to assign it to a trigger, and we'll put this under like the GPT-4o mini model, and I'll save it. And then when we bring up our magic menu, Control-7, now we have our Facebook post. We can keep this open. So if I'm working in my word processing document, whether it's WordPress or whether it's Notepad or whether it's Go High Level or whether it's Wix or wherever we're working, I select the text and I simply, my name is Matt Zimmerman. I'm having a sale on my AI writer, ZimmWriter. I'm actually not, so don't get confused. So you simply highlight the text and you'll go over here and you'll press the save trigger that you want, and it will work right here. Hey everyone, it's Matt Zimmerman here. So you can have a lot of different of your saved prompt, a lot of different prompts that you've saved floating in whatever program you're running, and just really access all of your commands very easily. So take advantage of that too. So Effortless asks, the difficulty I'm experiencing with the improvement upgrades changing my workflow. I'm having trouble keeping up. What are you? So I'm never really taking stuff away, Effortless. So don't get overwhelmed that you need to understand every feature that I add. Like before deep research, you didn't have to use deep research. And now with deep research, you don't have to use deep research. Before link packs, we didn't have link packs. You don't have to use link packs if you want. So style mimic, don't need to use. Deep research, don't need to use. SERP scraping, don't need it. You could just come in here and put in a title, how to wash a dog, and say, you know what, I want second person, literary devices, list, nuke, bold, and key takeaways, and write your article and get something good out and select your model that you want. You don't have to get confused or overwhelmed with ZimmWriter. ZimmWriter can be as easy or as complex as you want it to be. But it just depends on your goal, what you're trying to do. Paul asks, can you explain the link pack pipe option? Yeah. Do we provide the URL? So this is a great question. Don't forget about the link packs. Now that we have deep research, so link packs work with deep research. Deep research works with link packs. They both work together. If you don't want to scrape, if you have your URL in here, https myurl.com, and it's either not published, the article right here, the URL is not published yet because maybe you know the slug. ZimmWriter allows you to set the slug, so maybe you have stuff that's not published, or maybe you have stuff that can't be scraped. It's behind a firewall and you can't scrape it. This is a situation where you can use the pipe trick, and the pipe trick will actually speed things up. So with my link pack for Designer Affair, this is an example of it. We scroll down, there's a couple links in here. So I'll take some of these. Let me just take a couple of these out and show you. So these are links to Amazon. And if we actually follow one, it takes us to this Amazon like search results page. So this is an example of something ZimmWriter could not scrape and summarize, because there's all kinds of stuff in here. ZimmWriter wouldn't know what this page is about. It's about just random, it's about Halloween stuff, but there's all kinds of random stuff. So the summary that ZimmWriter would generate would be polluted and diluted. So what you can do is to add a link like this, something that would not normally scrape, or again, maybe it's an article that's not published yet, you can use the pipe trick. So the pipe trick is you have the entire URL in here, and if you have an affiliate link, you would add this also to the end, or whatever affiliate link it is, and you put the pipe symbol. The pipe is just this. It's right above the enter key. You put the pipe symbol, and you say something to the effect of, the website sells products related to Halloween table decor. Now, this is really easy for me to do in Excel. I'll have all my URLs in one column, and then I'll have a phrase, this website sells products related to, in the next columns. And then in the final column, I would basically have my search string, just figure it all out with the text manipulation. And you can merge it all, combine it all together. And then in Excel, it would automatically create the rest of what you need. Summer outside decor to low cost kitchen decor. So you can do it this way. You can put in kind of whatever summary you want, but this summary then will be then stored in the database and used for that relevance matching when ZimmWriter goes to actually determine which links to insert. So we take this content now with our pipe and the symbol or the summary, and we come in here and we simply add it right in here. And I could probably do it on a new link pack. Let's see if I can just make a new test one. And we'll attempt to save. We're not even going to scrape anyways. Let's process the links. And so it's not scraping the links, so it goes really fast. All it's doing is storing some different things in the database. So it does a couple hits to the AI model you're choosing, but it just stored it all. So a very fast way by using that pipe trick, all right, the pipe and then a provided summary to speed things up or link to articles that aren't written yet or link to things like a category page. Very powerful. And again, look at my Designer Affair links. So these are links to all of my product roundup pages up here. So those are all internal links. And then these over here are all external links to Amazon. So really powerful thing. I have 711 links in here. And so when I wrote all of my info articles, my 500 and whatever info articles on Designer Affair, I use this link back. Very powerful. Will ZimmWriter be effective with Arabic content? I don't know. There are people that generate in that language, so you should probably ask them. I haven't tested every language out. It will write it. Whether or not it will read well when it's translated, I don't know. Jap asks, is there a way to rewrite your blog post into video scripts, perhaps a custom outline in Penny Arcade? So yoursite.com blog post. So you have your URL in here, and we click on the Only Summarize button, and you would load up a custom prompt. So you'd create a custom prompt, and the custom prompt would be a prompt to essentially create a video script. You'd read the custom prompt guide, and you'd understand how, like, what I'm sending to the AI, and then you'd prompt around that, and you'd say, hey, write me a video script for this. And again, it's all prompting. It's all, I don't know if you want like multiple people talking or just one person talking, but yeah, you can turn that into a video script pretty easily. Use like a more powerful model like Sonnet, and then it will give you a file, like a text file for every URL, or you can turn everything into a single CSV. So if you have 10 blog posts and you want scripts for all 10 instead of one CSV, you can use this option too. It might be hard to read though. So yeah, that's what I would probably do. Brian asks, do you know approximately where in the SERPs the deep research information comes from? Like top of the page, lower page, or random? I don't. Steve-O asks, if I am in real estate local and want to write a good review of houses, condos, in your opinion, what would be the best approach? It depends if you want a roundup of the houses and condos, or you're doing one-off reviews of the houses or condos. A one-off review or an informational page about the house or condo would be a little bit easier than doing a roundup. I don't know if I would do a roundup, because if you're in real estate, you have your own list of stuff. So it would probably be too cumbersome to put, and that list might not even be published online. So a one-off review would be better. How I'd probably do that is I'd go to the bulk writer, and then this would be a little bit programmatic SEO. I'm trying to think the best way to go about doing this. Oh, you probably could. I don't think you could use deep research. Maybe you could use deep research. I don't know, but you'd have, I don't know how you'd format the articles. But amazing mansion in Toledo, Ohio. I don't know what the format is that you want for your sale. Maybe it would be like 6201 North Wallbridge Road, Toledo. Like, I don't know how you format for sale blog posts for single real estate locations or something like that. Something like this that you could do it programmatically inside of Google Sheets or inside of Excel. So when you do that, we got to get your background information in. So if the background information is from a URL, right, we'd put the URL to property here. If the background is not from a URL, that's when I'd use that bulk CSV file where we put our title in, which would, when we could just fill it down from Excel, which would be our title over here. And then our background would be right here. This would work out really well. But if you're doing real estate, you probably want like an outline in the same format. So I would probably only fill these two columns out, article title in the background. And then I'd come over here to the custom outline, and I would develop an outline that you want for all of your different properties. And this might involve some raw prompts, or this might involve some custom prompts or something. But you dial this in so it's exactly how you want it. And then once you've done that, you configure all your other options. You're probably going to write in either second person or first person or something like that. Save your settings to a profile, and off you go to the races. Robert says, I'm still a little unclear as to how to use a link pack. Can you break it down? So Yeah, link packs are a phenomenal tool because virtually every other AI writer that does linking, most of them just do this. So you go into the bulk writer and link pack, and you just specify up to 5 links that it's going to inject. And that really is not as good as it could be. What ZimmWriter will do is allows you to create a link pack with up to 1,000 links. And they can be internal links, they can be external links. And then what happens is you'll load the link pack, so load our link pack. And assuming you're writing about related things, we don't need to use link NATO, but you configure all your options, how many links you want per subheading. And then as you write for each subheading, for each non-FAQ subheading, it will inject links if they're relevant. Or if you use link NATO, it will just force inject them. So it's incredibly powerful, especially if you're doing affiliate stuff. If you're like this site I have, this Planet Self-Defense. I was gifted this site by a ZimmWriter member, and it's an e-com site. And there's all kinds of links on it. It's my e-com site, and it has all these links to different products. So if you have an e-com site, this works. Or maybe you have, like I have, Designer Affair, I have all these different product roundups. So we put the product roundups in here as links. Or maybe we have actual affiliate links to other third-party sites or something like that. Whatever it is, you put your links in here. So you got to use your brain to think about what links you're going to put into your link pack, how you're going to structure your site. Now, ZimmWriter doesn't edit articles. So once your articles are on your site, those articles are not going to be edited by ZimmWriter. If you want to add links to them at that point in time, that's when you need to use like Link Whisper or Link Boss or something like that. But when you're writing the articles, if you've strategically thought about how you want to build your site, how you want to structure your site, you can have all your links in your link pack. So that's how link packs work. You put all the links in that you want, that you've thought about, and off you go. The pipe trick that we talked about earlier, like some people will drip feed their stuff and other people will just publish everything. There's a guy in the ZimmWriter group with almost 200 ZimmWriter sites, and he just publishes everything right off the bat. So theoretically, if he knows the slug for all of his articles, how to wash a dog, usually the best slug would just be the keyword. How to wash a dog. So if you have like an Excel sheet or a Google sheet with all of your keywords, and your keyword is not your blog post title necessarily, so you can use Excel to merge all this together and create your slugs. So you'll know all your slugs for all of your articles. And then also using Excel, you can create your links because you know what the slugs will be. You know what the links are going to be. You can create all of the slugs ahead of time. So theoretically, if your intention is to just bulk publish to your WordPress website all in one go, everything's going to be published, nothing's going to be scheduled. You can put all your links in here because you'll know what the links will be. And ZimmWriter will automatically create them as they write the article. So that's the other way to use link packs. Very powerful, but it doesn't take the place of deep research. Deep research is a completely different concept. Hataf asks, is there any feature like Claude Project in ZimmWriter where I upload a bunch of files and then write a custom prompt and write one single article? You can go to the bulk writer if you want to, and you can put in your single article, and we can come over here to the custom outline and we can say my raw prompt, and we'll go over here to our raw prompts and we'll create a raw prompt. And the raw prompt can be whatever you want. It's only like a couple hundred words. You're not doing like a 2,000 word raw prompt, but you're telling the AI what to do. Now the raw prompt is going to be applied to every subheading. So it's not going to be like, write me one entire article. You don't want to do that with your raw prompt because your raw prompt is going to write every section. If you literally just want one prompt to write one article, your best bet is to go to, and not like the raw format where we're applying it to every subheading, just go use Claude or a GPT or something like that. I mean, I guess you could, like, you can't upload it to WordPress, but you could technically go in the vault and use the text discombobulator and say like my article title, and then you apply a custom prompt. All right, to that. Like you could have a custom prompt that says, write the entire article or something like that. And it would write it and spit it out into the CSV file. And then you could make a corresponding image for that too. You could technically do that, but it would be in this CSV file. Let's see. I'm only highlighting questions I can understand, guys. David asks, please do a prompt creation for a business. I have a YouTube video on that already, and that's a little bit, click on secret training, and we scroll down to my YouTube channel, and on my videos, this is like a very advanced video, but you can dial it back. You don't have to go so advanced. Where is it? Here it is. AI generate 1,000 bulk local SEO web pages with custom details. So this is, I went to the extreme with this video, but this is local SEO. You have a business, you want to do local SEO. This shows you like as deep as you can go with it inside of ZimmWriter. So that's probably what I would check out. Poods asks, raw prompts, does it have an impact of 1 longer raw versus 3 shorter? Is each raw a rewrite? Raw removes mimic, so include it in the raw. So the way raw prompts work, extremely powerful feature, but again, not everybody needs to use it. Like, use it if you need it, but don't use it because you have it. A lot of people have a lot of stuff in their garage and in their house that they actually don't use. So use it if you need it. Custom outline, raw prompts. Read the raw prompt guide. This is probably one of my really better guides because there's just a lot of information in here. Now, the thing with raw prompts is you can actually stack raw prompts. So Poods was asking, is it better to do 1 raw prompt versus 3 shorter ones? So what that means is with ZimmWriter, you can create an outline. Let's see if I have an outline. And I'm just going to make something up here. Let's say we have our first raw prompt, raw recipe. Then we have like raw cleanup or something like that. Maybe I clean something up, or raw verify or something, and then raw special or something like that. So you can actually stack up to 3 raw prompts on a particular subheading. And the way a raw prompt works is when ZimmWriter is going to write this section, either without a raw prompt, it's going to use ZimmWriter's own prompts. And then after it writes the section, it will do any other things like nuking, bold, skinny paragraphs. When you use a raw prompt, we don't use ZimmWriter prompts. We're using your prompts to write the section. And then after the section is written, then it will nuke, it will bold, and it will do skinny paragraphs. And then also like links and stuff like that. All the links, all the bolding, whether it's deep research links, link pack links, bolding, nuking, and skinny paragraphs, all of those are separate passes subsequent to either the ZimmWriter prompts or your raw prompts. So keep that in mind, it's important. But he's asking, is it better just to make 1 raw prompt or to stack 2 raw prompts or 3 raw prompts? I only stack prompts if I need like cleanup. I can't think of a great example, but maybe I would want to do a raw prompt, like my recipe prompt. Let's just look at that. Let's look at my raw recipe. I don't know if you can see this. Hope you can. Write a recipe to cook the dish in the current subtopic. The recipe should start with 2 paragraphs. After 2 paragraphs, create a bullet list of ingredients, then create cooking instructions in 1 paragraph. Finally, create 1 paragraph of extra tips. Maybe I want to verify that it wrote that kind of stuff, or maybe I want to clean that up, or maybe I want to then add 3 emojis at the end. You can do that in subsequent raw prompts. Again, test, see what you need. The option here to stack is available. You'll confuse yourself if you start doing this and you don't really need it. Let's get out of this. Hope that answered your question. Mildred asks, can you add the ability to reduce the number of pictures in the article? Every other H2 is too much if you're doing lists. I think that's on the to-do. I'll make a note of that. Andre asks, infographics, adding napkin or stuff like that for infographics. I don't know, the napkin stuff, I saw napkin's really cool. The problem is all the stuff kind of looks the same. It's all, this guy's using napkin, you can tell. I think, let's see, AI blog post. I don't know if I did a video on this or I think I just made a post about this. Oh, I don't know. There was a post somewhere on this site that has infographics on it. I don't know where they are. I'm not logged in right now. But you can actually do infographics with, I forget which model I used, but they actually turned out quite well. I was actually really impressed. So there's a YouTube video on that, or a Facebook post about that. I would rather go the AI route because that's where it's going to go. The models will get better at doing text. Rihan asks, can I discuss how to use the research prompt? Yeah, so he's talking about using the research prompt, not right here, but in a custom outline. So in a custom outline, you have your outline in here. Now there's sometimes when you want to use research. And in my opinion, the best time to use the research tag is when you're doing like a local SEO and you don't want every single element to have that research. Apartment kitchen renovations. I don't really need research on that because then it might bring in competitors, or I already have my custom background right here. I don't need research. But down here, best sites to visit in VAR1, so this would be like Toledo, Ohio. What we can do in lieu of just calling the Perplexity model, we can call a research model or a research tag. We would update the outline to be like this. And this is relevant here because we want local stuff. So we'd load our outline, and then we go over here to deep research. And what we would do is we would disable it for right here. So we're disabling the use of deep research everywhere unless we've used the research tag. All right, now we're still going to use it for outline generation. Well, I guess it's irrelevant if we're using a custom outline. So that's irrelevant right there. And then do we want links in those things that we've tagged? So probably I would want links because I'm citing to things to do in Toledo, Ohio, things to do in Cleveland, Ohio. So I probably would want links because that would help my SEO from Google's standpoint when I'm doing local. Shakik asks, hope I'm saying your name right, can I show product roundups for non-Amazon products? Yeah, that's actually a great question. A lot of people don't even know about that. So you can use the product roundup feature for non-Amazon products. So right now, if we say like toothpaste, start roundup, it will go to Amazon, assuming you have ScrapeAl. This is like the default behavior, and pull in 15 potential toothpastes. And you can go through this, review this, say, oh, you know what, this isn't a toothpaste I like, or this is not a toothpaste, the Amazon search was wrong, and delete this. You can clean up your list. So that's all automatic. Now, you can use other URLs though. This is actually my site, but the same concept applies for Best Buy or something. All right, so I'd come in, here's my URL, and I simply paste it right there. Now, this is my own site, so I don't need like an affiliate link or something like that. If you are doing Best Buy, or you're doing like AppSumo or something, or even for this site, what you might want to do if there's a lot of like extraneous information on here, like you go to Amazon, there's all kinds of different products on the single product page that can confuse the AI. That's why ZimmWriter comes by default with this scraping surgeon profile. And this kind of gets a little bit more complicated because you have to understand CSS and whatnot. But everybody ZimmWriter has this Amazon profile in here. And this allows ZimmWriter to go to Amazon and just selectively pull the data that represents that single product. So if you are using Best Buy or something, you can do the same thing. You can find the CSS class or ID that contains, it can even be a child element that contains the product title, the product image, and then up to 15 CSS class IDs for the actual content of the product itself, like the details, and then your affiliate tag. Now, this is like a site I did, my Planet Self-Defense site. I did that for the different elements on the page so I can better select it. Actually, here's the product page. So this is the product page. So I just want this stuff here. I just want this here. I just want these details right here. So yeah, using the scraping surgeon can really help with that. There's a guide on how to do that, but you still have to somewhat understand CSS, but it's not hard to figure out. So we take the URL, and if you're just fetching the products from Amazon, plural product name. Otherwise, say like self-defense tools for survival in the woods. So you can call it like that if you're using your own links. So we'd have all the different links, and it would create our product roundup for us. The same way, it would look the same, although it's going to try to fetch the image because we're not doing short codes because there's no Amazon. We're not using Amazon, so the AFFI, AAWP doesn't work. So we're going to be relying on pulling that image from the product page identified inside of Scraping Surgeon. So long-winded answer, but I hope that answered your question. Let's see. When I put my keywords into the bulk writer, it does not create a title for me. It just uses my keyword. Right, because Mildred, the bulk writer expects your title. If you just put in keywords, you're just going to get keywords. That's just going to be your title. So if you want to actually create titles for your keywords, you'll want to do one of two things. AI Vault and SEO keywords to blog post titles. So we can come over here and we can say dog, let's see, best dog toys. Do dogs get cancer? When to wash dog. So simple like keywords, not really titles. You put your keywords in here and we'll give this a name, dogs, and you select your model. We'll just use GPT-4o. And let me copy this. I want to do something else with it too. And it's going to create your CSV and it will go into your output directory. And what it's going to do is going to generate 5 potential titles for each keyword and then try its best using AI to determine which would be the best suited for your situation. So let's go over here and open this up. So best dog toys. Here are the 5 titles it made. Top 7 best toys for endless fun, 7 best dog toys to keep your pup entertained, discover the best dog toys of 2024. So then it will recommend the title, and then it will also auto create your slug based on your keyword. So your slug becomes your keyword, which is great for SEO. And then we'll merge it all together. So we have this merged column over here. So if you're happy with this result, what you can do is we go to data, filter. We don't want the dashes. We just want the selections. We take those 3. We go to the bulk writer. And we paste it right in here, and you're off to the races. How often to wash your dog? How do dogs get cancer? Fantastic. That's how you take keywords and turn them into actual titles. That was a big sticking point for me. I'm like, great, I have all these keywords. What do I do? Let's build an SEO keyword to title generator. Let's see. WordPress question, what themes and page builders do you recommend in general? I know you use Blocksy in your free course and it works well, but Blocksy Pro is worth it. I like Blocksy Pro because it allows me to use the hooks. And there was something else it does. It has some other like odds and ends, like it has like a reading progress bar and stuff like that. Blocksy isn't what I would use for every single site. If I was doing a news site, for instance, I would probably use like the Zox theme from Envanto Elements. That's the common news theme that people use. But for most of the stuff, like I'm going to rebuild my ZimmWriter, my ranking tactics site. I'm going to try to do it all in Blocksy and generate blocks because I just love those themes. But I wouldn't use those 2 for everything. It just depends on the niche. How can I create YouTube scripts using ZimmWriter? Use the text discombobulator, AI Vault text discombobulator. You would create a custom prompt for a YouTube script. All right. Learn what I feed into the AI. This is the custom prompt or the text discombobulator guide. So this is going to be your line of text. A YouTube script about the time I fell off my bike and skinned my knee. Whatever. So you have your title in here, and when I feed this into the AI, the title goes right here. And then your custom prompt goes in this instructions thing. So you basically create a custom prompt, and I send all this junk to the AI. And so your custom prompt can refer to the data to process. So your custom prompt in here, we would say, use the concept in the data to process to write an entire YouTube script that is, I don't know, let's say 5 minutes long, and then whatever you want in it. Like, my name is Matt. I'm the one speaking. I don't know. You figure it all out. You dial your prompt, then you do a bunch of tests, and you'll load up your prompt then, and then you'll write your article. And then you can also generate some AI images to go along with it if you want to. That's how I would do that. What is the best and cheap image format where image generation is fine, but cost is less? That's your version of fine is completely different than everybody else's version. Everybody has their own interpretation of what's good. What I would do if you only wanted to sign up for one AI image provider, sign up for FAL. So in your subheading model, S means stability, F means FAL, the parentheses around R means replicate, I means ideogram, and then C is recraft. Sign up for FAL. FAL will give you all of the Flux models and will also give you Stable Diffusion 3.5. Right? And that's all you need. The nice thing about FAL.ai, as opposed to Replicate, is Replicate will pre-charge your account $40, or at least they did when I first introduced it. They'll charge you $40. You're going to spend those $40, but they're going to pre-hit your credit card $40. FAL doesn't do that. You put in $5 of credit. You can use the $5 until you run out. So that's what I would do. And I would use the Flux Schnell. It's 1/3 of a penny per image. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll do like a Flux Ultra for my featured, right? But then my subheadings, maybe I'll dial it down to Schnell or Flux Dev or something. Completely depends on the purpose. Are you getting an ROI on your cost? Let's see. Your take on the best way to limit length of the output. I would like to create 450 word articles. That's great. 450 word articles, how to wash a dog with 3 subheadings and short length. That's all you got to do. If you're getting too much stuff out, what's probably happening is you have too many H2s. Like if you don't want that many, dial it down. You can also set a cap. You can put this on automatic, but you want to cap it at 5. You don't want more than 5. Dial this down to short. If you're still getting too much output, you don't like it, then maybe you want to look into a master raw prompt. Raw short output. And your raw prompt would be basically write a single paragraph about the content. And that's what I do for the short designation. But sometimes when you add all this stuff in here and you add links, like every time a link is inserted, a new sentence is added. The AI does a really hard time of injecting a link into an existing sentence. It does like a million times better by creating a brand new sentence with that link in it. So every link you add is going to make that section longer. Keep that in mind. Other question is ZimmWriter don't work with monthly plan or ChatGPT. Not sure what that means. If you're paying for ChatGPT Plus, you don't need to. That's any subscriptions are aside from ZimmWriter and aside from ScrapeHal, any AI provider subscriptions are irrelevant and unnecessary for ZimmWriter. Anita asked, she wanted to have a listicle, but have a specific format for each section in the listicle. Let me put the word wrap back on so you can see. So here is our listicle, like 10 terrifying tips for flying with a toddler. And she wanted, so here's our first H1, put snack bags together. But she wanted a format, what it looks like. So this would be like the paragraph for put snack bags together. Let's see if I can make this so you can actually see it. All right, so put snack bags together would be the first H2, and then what it looks like, colon, why it's smart, colon, things to be aware of, colon. And she wants this format for each list item. That's excellent for a master raw prompt. Very simple to do with master raw prompts. Go to the bulk writer, and so this would be 10 terrifying tips for flying with a toddler. Custom outline. So we create a raw prompt. We call this raw listicle or something like that. And we'd say, see if we can do this on the fly. Write 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph starts with the phrase, what it looks like. The second paragraph starts with the phrase, why it's smart. And the third paragraph starts with the phrase in markdown bold. Let's just do that, markdown bold. And we're going to save this as a raw listicle. And just for sake of time, we'll do 5 terrifying tips. Oh, I got my custom outline open. And hold on, create raw prompts, got to pull it up. Raw listicle, there it is. So there's our outline. We're going to call this listicle. Save new outline. So that's our master raw prompt. It's going to be applied to every subheading. We're going to do this article right here. Let me go to WordPress and select, we'll just even publish this thing live on camera. We'll publish it. And we're going to do Flux Ultra, and we're going to do Flux, yeah, why not? Let's just do Flux Dev, right? Every H2, search intent, no FAQ. I'd love to do deep research, but that will just take too long. We'll do bold, we'll do key takeaways. This is irrelevant now because we're doing automatic keywords is also irrelevant. And we'll use sonnet. We'll disable conclusion and disable skinny paragraph. If we don't disable this, then it will break that stuff up, and I really want those 3 paragraphs. And I'll save this to a profile, test 9. Save profile, start bulk writer, kind of double. That's why I like this profile stuff. Now I can just save it all. So this is gonna write our article live on camera. Don't crash. So that was the end of the questions from the Facebook group. Path to Success asked, can we generate 2 years of images for Pinterest, linking back to the original blog post without using Publer? Yeah, you can definitely do that. But the problem is you need a tool to publish those things. So you don't have to use Publer, but how are you going to publish them? You can manually publish them if you want to, according to your schedule. So you can use the social media scheduler inside of ZimmWriter to create your schedule and then use either manual publishing or use Publer or use some other thing to read your CSV file and actually follow the schedule. Can I combine text discombobulator with deep research for a YouTube script? In the bulk writer, I think the deep research would not apply if you're using the background from the script. I don't know. Maybe using the URL merge feature inside of the bulk writer with deep research on your YouTube video would possibly work. Give that a shot. Text discombobulator, no. Only deep research is only available inside of the bulk writer. So, all right, I'm going to open up the site. It's about ready to be done. Let's see what we got. So here's the image. 5 terrific tips for flying with a toddler. That's a cool image. That's Flux Ultra right there. So choose flight times wisely. What it looks like. Perfect. Why it's smart. Things to be aware of. Look at that. Pack smart entertainment options. So this is I think I'd probably do something different with the bolding. Maybe I do like bold underline or something for this in markdown format. But that looks great. Yeah. What it looks like, why it's smart, things to be aware of. Snacks are your secret weapon. What it looks like, pack a variety of familiar and special treats. This is great. And remember, if you use deep research, it will work in conjunction with your master raw prompt. Master the pre-flight routine, what it looks like, why it's smart, things to be aware of. Fantastic. See how easy that is to get a completely different layout for your article using something simple like this. So just to recap, here's our custom outline. It's master raw prompt. And there's our master raw prompt. See how easy it is to get completely different output. And what's great is we can load this back up and it loads it all back up for us. Everything's loaded up to our profile. Very cool if you have lots of different sites. Last question, profiles for local buffet. When you do a local buffet, you're doing it one time. For the, how many pages do you want? How many services do you have? We want 100 pages. That's what, 5 services and 4 locations. I like these live streams. I'm glad you do. Cool. Hey, that's it, guys. That was long, but I'm gonna cut it down in the post and then we'll put it on our channel. So thank you for all your contributions. Thank you for your questions and your support. Tell other people about ZimmWriter. I know a lot of you guys like keeping it to yourself, but it does help me when you tell other people about ZimmWriter. So thanks for attending and good luck with your content generation, and I will talk to y'all later.